Nice to meet you.
Okay, welcome everyone. On behalf of Y-Axis, I welcome you to this Malta Residency Visa Program. So let me introduce you to the CEO, that is Mr. Roderick Putear. He is the CEO of the Malta Residency Visa Agency. Alright. So he is leading the Malta Residency Visa Agency, and he is responsible for the effective implementation of Malta's Residency by Investment Program, which is now called the Malta Residency Visa Program. Alright? So this is aimed at attracting individuals all across the globe, and preferably from the third country nationals who want to go and establish themselves in Malta. So can we please put our hands together for him?
And I must also put our hands for him. The introduction is excellent. So, thank you very much. Thank you, Axis, for having me here. It's a pleasure and an honor. We've been talking, and it's always great to be associated with a great company like yours. Well, I represent the government of Malta because our agency falls under the office of the Prime Minister, directly under the office of the Prime Minister. So the program, this Residency by Investment Program, is regulated and monitored under this very important office. This is my second time here in Mumbai. I came in April. I met Jaya and her colleagues, had quite a long chat, and together we truly believe that there's a huge market in India. And there are many reasons for that, many reasons. One of them, which I think is very, very important, is that Indian nationals are very family-oriented, like the Maltese. So we love sitting around the table, we love inviting friends over, we love eating together. So I think this is one of the most important things, because the way of living in Malta, the way of living is very nice, it's very enjoyable. And I will explain to you why. But before, I want to show you a small video about Malta. It's an island surrounded by the beautiful Mediterranean Sea, the cleanest and the most beautiful of the seas surrounding Europe. The Malta Residence Visa Program, we kicked off this program in June 2016. We are not after having a lot of quantity, we're after quality. So what we want is to attract quality people to the island that maybe they want to settle on the island, maybe they want to have just a second residency, or maybe they want to expand their business. And expanding the business in Malta, from Malta, given where it is located, and we will see, is a very straightforward thing. So we launched the program in June 2016. The first year I was a bit worried. And I was a bit worried because we all received 60 applications. And I said, my goodness, what's going to happen? Isn't this a good program? Is this a bad program? Because we were competing with other big programs, the likes of Greece, the likes of Cyprus, the likes of Hungary, Portugal. They all promote these programs. And what happened is, I was meeting big immigration companies, immigration experts, and they were telling me, Roderick, you know, you need to tweak in here, you need to tweak in there, you need to improve this and that. And I am a very humble person, and I said, okay, I need to learn from the best. You only learn from the best. So in April, I changed the program. I made it more attractive for investors to apply to. From April 2017 till the end of 2017, we received more than 380 applications. Now, the program has more than 1,100 applications, and it is growing. But everyone knows that this is a distinctive program. There is a very thorough due diligence process. So when people apply, before we approve them, before we say, yes, we're going to give you the residency, they go through a lot of checks. And they go through a lot of checks, first and foremost, because we want to ensure that the people that are coming, the investors that are coming to Malta, they are good people of a good repute. Second thing, this is a government program, so there is the reputation. And third thing, there's my signature on the certificates of residence. I am the one signing the residence or certificates for each and every applicant. So when I sleep at night, I want to make it a point that each and every applicant that we have has gone through a very good, rigorous due diligence process. And that is very important. And it's important because I have this feeling that Indian nationals, they just don't want to go to that or that or that residency by investment program. They want to show that they have a PR card that is prestigious. You know what? I have a PR card. I have Malta's PR card. Wow, that's the most rigid and stringent residency by investment program. So it is also prestigious to have this PR card. Very recently, very recently, a couple of weeks ago, this MRVP was chosen as one of the best 13 residency by investment programs in the world. In the world. But people do not choose this program because this program has something so special. They choose this program, they are choosing this program because of Malta and Gozo. And you'll see why. These two beautiful islands, located in the heart of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful beaches all around, that are attracting many investors to Malta. MRVP is a tool to access, to become permanent residents of Malta. This is a permanent residency program. Once you're approved, you're there to stay. you're there to stay. As long as, of course, you don't involve yourselves in terrorism, bribery, crime, and everything, which it will not be the case. So, let's talk a bit about the program. As you can see, with this small dot, I made it a point to do a circle around it, because people don't see it. And given our strategic location between Africa and Europe with excellent relationship with both continents, many people, many investors, high net worth individuals, and I must say this program is not only for high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals. There are others who can afford to come on this program, but of course it's attracting more high net worth individuals. All right? Given its location, many people opt to come for it. Until April, people thought we were part of Sicily. So they were, when I showed them this, they told me, okay, it's Sicily. No. We have our own Maltese language. It's a national language. But the good thing, and that is very, very attractive to Indian nationals, our second national language is English. So, given that our national language is English, we have that opportunity for people to practice English as well. You have many big companies coming to Malta because of the English language. There's no barriers, and here many people speak and understand English very well. We're both a Commonwealth country, so I don't see any reasons for issues over there. But some information about Malta. Malta is very, very big. Bigger than India. We're just 470,000 people. Very small. 470,000 people, 500,000 people, very small island. Wherever you go, wherever you're going to live in Malta, you have access to the beaches in 10-15 minutes. Not more than that. So wherever you're staying, 10, 15, 20 minutes away from you, there's a beach where you can go. It's Malta, Gozo, and Comino. It's actually 3 islands. 3. But Comino, there's only one person living in Comino. It's a small island. It's not that he owns this island. He's not a high net worth individual. He's a farmer. He's been living on this island. It's called Comino. And he's living there alone. I had a high net worth individual who was interested in buying the Comino Island. He told me, you know what, I'll pay this guy good money, Rodri, but I bank cannot because it's a protected island. But then there's Malta and Gozo. Beautiful. And they always say this, if you are interested in this program, very, very important that you also visit the island. That you also visit the island. Because you get a touch and a feel of a very important matter. That's the way of living. It's how we live. I mean, you can go anywhere. You can buy a residency program everywhere. But what you have to see is the way we live. That's why I wanted to show you that video. That is how we live. It's how you will be adapting to our way of doing things, which I don't foresee in that case any issues, absolutely. National languages, Maltese and English. Capital city, Valletta, long story, 7,000 years of story, the Knights of Malta, the Great Siege of Malta. You know, whoever is interested will find all this information available on the internet. We are a member of the European Union since 2004. It's a democratic republic, so the government is elected by the population. Education. The education system in Malta is based on the British curriculum. So our degrees, our masters, our PhDs, they are recognized internationally. There are some people who tell me, okay, I want to come to Malta, Roderick, but I want to go to a university in Italy. So, why? When you have a university that has all the faculties in the world, engineering, medical, whatever you mentioned, there is. And then you have a university which is recognized worldwide. So, very, very, very important. Weather. Weather in Malta, normally it's 27 degrees Celsius, between 27 and 32 degrees Celsius in summer. And then in winter, you will rarely see snow in Malta, because the snow will dissolve itself on the water, on the Mediterranean Sea. But sometimes we get to see some snow in Malta, very, very rarely. But winter in Malta normally is between November, February, and when we say winter, don't think you're gonna wear your coats, your furs, and everything. Winter is normally 17, 18, 16 degrees Celsius. Sometimes it may go a little bit down, but we don't have those freezing weathers. Remember, this is called the sunny island. Everywhere we are recognized as the sunny island. So you will have more sun, you will have more tan, rather than cold. The MRVP program is a program that is approved by the European Union. So legally, you are safe because you are investing in a program that's approved by the European Union. It has its legal structures, and these legal structures, you can access them on the internet. We're very open and transparent. So you have peace of mind that there's a legal framework regulating the residency program. Now, many applications coming in from all over the world, and I'm looking forward now to receive many applications from India as well. That is the goal. The government of Malta has, me being here, wants to provide residency by investment to India now. That was my dream, my goal since 2016, when I took over this program, and then I set up an agency to open the market in India. I believe there's a great market over here. I believe here there are quality people that with their skills and talent, they can also come and invest in Malta. That is why of my travels here in India and Mumbai, that is why of my discussions with YXS as well. Because I know they're a very reputable organization, so I wanted to discuss these matters with them as well. As I said, one of the best entry residency programs. All international immigration companies now are choosing MRVP as their flagship, and then we'll talk a bit about the due diligence, which is very, very, very important. When one is investing in a residency by investment program, I can understand that it's not an easy thing. It is a big effort, it is a sacrifice, especially if a family or a person decides to move, to relocate from the original country of origin, say from Mumbai, to go and live in Malta. So when they ask me the question, but Roderick, what about economy? Will we find any problems? Will we find problems with employment maybe in Malta? Can we work in Malta? Can we do business in Malta? This is what I show them as well. I tell them, I am Maltese, so I am biased. I will say nice things about Malta. I will say Malta's the best, Malta is this and that, which I will not, of course. But these three big organizations, which basically rate the economic standards of countries, have given Malta Standard & Poor's an A, Moody's ratings an A3, Fitch an A+. These are all recent achievements. So, if one poses the question now, but if I invest in this program, will I be investing in a strong economy? Will I be investing in an economy that is growing? These three organizations are the best you could find in the world. They rate the economies of scale as well. And they're saying Malta is one of the fastest growing economy in all of Europe, beating many other big countries. And that's a very important point, because if you want to put your money in such investment programs, you need to ensure that you are going to invest in countries that are basically growing and have very strong economies. I mean, it doesn't make sense to invest maybe in countries who are not doing so good economically. Other milestones: TripAdvisor, Business Insider. Top 25 destinations, Malta being one of the best in 25 destinations, beating Rome, London and others. In unemployment rate in Malta. And I think that is also where you can measure how good the economy is, employment. Our unemployment rate is less than 4.6%. I always say that 4.6% is made up of the lazy people in Malta. Now it's 3. Yes. Now it's 3%. My good friend Matthew there, it's 3%. Now I need to change the slide. Next time, don't tell me in front of everyone. No. 3%. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it. So that means, that shows how employment is readily available in Malta, and you'll see why as well now. That 3% is normally composed of those people who don't want to wake up in the morning and stay indoors, because there's employment for everyone. Our problem now is that there's a lot of investment, there are a lot of big companies coming over to Malta, and we need resources. We need resources. We need to start importing resources. We need YXIS as well to help on that. More than 250 foreign companies investing in Malta. You know, these are all top-notch companies: Huawei, US Crane, Microsoft, HSBC. You find the operations, the head of the operation centers of these companies are in Malta. So that would send also a message to you that there is a reason for investing in Malta. There is a reason of why these companies are coming over to Malta. They would not migrate, they would not set up their operations in Malta if there were problems with Malta. They would never do that. They would have done their due diligence and they would have set up their operations. Huawei, 5 million, US Crane Currency now just opened a premise, 100 million investment. Shanghai Power Electric, 320 million investment, you know, so on and so forth. Malta has the largest shipping register in the European Union. Construction industry is booming, yes. Property in Malta is a very, very lucrative investment. A very lucrative investment. There's a high return on investment when one buys properties in Malta. One needs to bear in mind that we are receiving a lot of tourists. We host a lot of tourists, millions and millions of tourists every year. So when one thinks about expanding the business, one has to take that into consideration as well. One has to say, okay, it's not only the 470,000 people, Maltese nationals, it's also the millions and millions of tourists that come and stay in Malta or stay in Malta for a period of time. You know, we have all these big cruise liners. We see them in our harbors. Remember that Malta has different harbors. So, global financial center, the iGaming. Malta is an iGaming hub. You have all the major iGaming top-notch companies in the world with operations, and they employ a lot of people, and they pay a lot of good money as well. The aviation industry. We have a lot of AOCs, a lot of operators in Malta, and more are opening because of our aviation legal framework. So the government of Malta is touching everywhere. Hollywood. There is Hollywood, but I can speak about Bollywood. There was a movie very recently produced in Malta, a couple of months ago. They were producing it. And they go, you see, You see, they're endorsing what I'm saying. So everything I'm saying is true. And I got the opportunity as well to be introduced to another big actress, to her and her husband. I forgot the name, but it was, she introduced them to me, very big, and they're interested in Malta as well, to produce movies in Malta. So, you think we're far away? You think we're on the other side? Forget it, huh? We had a lot of Indian nationals in the last months. You could see everywhere Indian nationals. People coming with the crew, people, artists, Bollywood artists, you know, having fun in Indina, everywhere. So, I don't think that this 6-hour trip difference that we have, you're on the other side of the world, because you're not. Absolutely. Yes, very important. Malta, the world's first blockchain island. And I tell you, that's no joke. That's no joke. You have the biggest companies involved in crypto and Bitcoin setting up operations in Malta. And so people tell me, but we will find a job in Malta. If you have the skills, if you have the talent, it's not a problem. And these people are setting up operations. I have, for example, Binance. Binance is the largest coming to Malta. And I believe there's a reason for doing that. I don't think these people just wake up in the morning and say, okay, we want to go to Malta. No, they don't do that. But what's the scope of me telling you this? Because I want to reassure you that if you do your investment, if you choose Malta as your second residency, you're doing that with peace, because this is what organizations and many families are doing. They are investing in Malta. Now that the program has been running for the last 2 years, people first rented an apartment or rented beauty. You have seen a lot of farming, a lot of farmers, but then you see also beautiful farmhouses, beautiful villas, and all is achievable. So the prices are not as expensive as if I had to buy a house here in Mumbai. They were telling me the prices, I went crazy. With an apartment here in Mumbai, if you buy an apartment in the city of Mumbai, you buy a beautiful terraced house in Malta. So people are also coming over to Malta and purchasing property. This is more related to the business. Normally, audiences, people who are interested in MRVP, you have people who just want to have a second home, people who want to study, people who want to reach the European Union, and then you have investors. And they ask me questions, okay, Rodrigo, how easy it is to set up a business in Malta? It's as easy as me being here today. One of you has a business plan. Next week, we'll give you an appointment with a minister. That's how easy it is. Given that you have a good business plan, we can introduce you to different ministers easily. And that's what we do. Very recently, we had a guy from Japan. He opened a Michelin restaurant. He's opening a Michelin restaurant. It's the first in Malta. That's great because he'll be employing also Maltese people. That's what we want. We want to bring people to invest and work in Malta. That's the idea. We don't want people to come, spend so much money just to have a residency. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So yes, great filming industry, strong work ethics, excellent ICT infrastructure. We also have a smart city in Malta, like Dubai. And smart city now is being developed even further with big investments. Yes, that's very important. Rodrigo, I want to come to Malta because I love the sea. I love the beaches. Okay, I tell you. You know, your only problem is going to be which beach are you going to choose. Remember, it's an island surrounded by the sea. So, every day, whenever you wake up, you feel the breeze coming from the sea. Especially those aspiring to have a nice house by the sea. There are others who say, okay, I want to come to Malta to improve my English language. So we have a lot of English language schools. I want to come to Malta to further my studies. So a lot of universities in Malta. This is a typical farmhouse. It's a typical farmhouse, and you find a lot of that in Malta. And normally these nice houses are with swimming pools, barbecue area, you know, that if you buy one of those, I can guarantee you will not go out to work the weekend because you would want to spend time in it. So Malta has a lot to offer. And should you decide to go for a MRVP, this is what you will get. I will not put anything on a slide if it isn't true. I will never do that. Because Malta is so small that the day you will meet me in a restaurant or in the street, you tell me, Roderick, you remember you said so? It isn't like that. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't risk, because there are a lot of restaurants in Malta, and most probably you'll find me in any of these restaurants. Because when this calls, I have to obey. So it is very, very important that when we promote a residency by investment like this, we speak only the truth. We speak facts. Bearing in mind the sacrifice, the effort the investor will be making. Not in terms of monetary value only, but also in terms of family relocating and moving as well. The good thing that you speak English very well. For example, sometimes I go to China. There's a big problem with the English language. So it's an issue. And when I find a family of high net worth individuals and adults, two adults, for example, wanting to relocate, but they're high net worth individuals, and they tell me, but not they tell me, through an interpreter, but we don't speak one word, even good morning, we don't know what it is. I tell them the best thing to do is to ensure that when you're in Malta, you get someone to help you. It all depends how many people, how many Indian nationals I will bring over to Malta. And we'll start as well teaching Indian. What's in it for you? So, it's a permanent residency program. We said that. It's a permanent residency program. It gives you access to the Schengen zone. So, each and every country in the Schengen, Italy, Germany, and others, you have visa for travel 3 months in every 6 months. So it's 6 months every year. You can go, you present at border control your PR card, and they will let you in without problem whatsoever. So we'll have access to the Schengen, to the 26 countries in the Schengen zone. The qualifying after, you can take it, you can withdraw it after 5 years. So you will be making an investment of say €250,000, but after 5 years, it's back into your bank account. The cost of living in Malta, not expensive at all. Very moderate, very, very, very normal. It's of course for those who like the luxury living and they want to spend money on brands, and that's a different story. But the normal cost of living in Malta is very, very moderate. Our residency card supports employment opportunities. We don't say to investors, yes, you can come, you spend so much, but then we won't allow you to work. No, it doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, we have more investments than people at the moment. We require more than 40,000 people at the moment in different skills. More than 40,000 people. It is a program that allows generation of families to apply. So I'd have my wife, my kids in my application. But then if I want, I can ask my father or mother to apply as well. I can ask also, I can have my wife's mother and father to apply as well. Or the grandparents. They can all apply. It's a very family-oriented program. It's a very family-oriented program. Of course, blue skies, beautiful sand beaches, Blue Lagoon. There's a Blue Lagoon in Gozo. It's literally a Blue Lagoon. Basically, it's the water. It's like there's no water. It's like a mirror. And many people go and visit this particular beach. Country with great history. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of years of history. High-level international schools. Renowned English language schools. We're multicultural and we accept diversity. We don't judge, we don't discriminate. Malta is a multicultural environment, so in terms of religion and whatever, we're very open to that. We have Muslims, we have all the kinds. We have Catholics, we have all the kinds. We don't discriminate on that. As much as we don't discriminate between same sexes. We're very open-minded. We don't discriminate, we don't speak badly maybe about people being gays. We don't do that. We don't do that. We're very open-minded. In fact, we have a law that regulates that as well. Same-sex couples can get married and can receive benefits as well. Right, Matthew? Because I have my... If I say something wrong or stupid, please jump in. Because I have...
It's important that
no help.
I am off normal, honestly, but it came across as
So, competitive tax bans. We are not a tax haven, but when compared to other countries, our tax bans are very good, are very competitive when compared to other countries. Great super yachting industry and medical tourism. We have what we refer to as a medical tourism. Many people who require medical intervention, cosmetic surgery, so on and so forth, they would come to Malta, they would do their things, but then they would also recover in Malta because of the temperature, because of the weather. So medical tourism in Malta is very popular as well. We said English is the official language, and one thing that I probably feel that's of interest to you as well is that the program doesn't require annual renewal and doesn't require even minimum stay. So you can decide, we have a PR card, we want to spend 3 beautiful months enjoying the beaches in Malta. Malta is like a Monaco, like a Monte Carlo, especially in summer, but not as expensive as Monte Carlo or Monaco. Absolutely not the case. So there is no minimum stay. You can either decide if you want to come, and you're very welcome, to live in Malta or Gozo, or else you can decide, I want to have a holiday, I want to do this and that. I don't need to stay there. There are no restrictions. Now, a rigorous due diligence check. Whenever we receive an application from our agents, we check a lot of things about the main applicant, spouse, and some of the dependents. We are renowned internationally, and now other countries are doing like us, they are copying us, that we do a 4th year, we say due diligence. So imagine, I receive an application from Access. What happens? The application comes to us. Access would have done their know your customer. They would tell us this customer is of good repute, no problem, Roderick, so on and so forth. When I receive the application through my team, I take a part of the application, mainly the passport, and I speak to the police in Malta. And we check with Europol, with Interpol, with FBI, with Scotland Yard, a lot of things about the person, to check if the person has been involved in any crime. I think it's reasonable we do this. It's reasonable for the Maltese nationals and for the investors, because the investors don't want to go in another country where they accept everyone, we don't do that. Once the police advises me that the client is okay, I proceed with 2 further checks. I ask my team of due diligence managers to check online about the person. We check databases, we check online, we check everything. And they also hire a company. We have 3 different companies we work with. What we call the background verification checks. And they check for me if the client was ever involved in any criminal activity, bankruptcy, professional associate, source of wealth, from where did the client make the money? We need to know. We need to know that the client made the money through, normal affiliations, through employment, through business. I can't just have someone asking for a bank statement with a 2-3 million euro on the bank account, and when I ask, from where did you get that 3 million euro? I can't have him say or her say, okay, it's just a present. It's just a present. What kind of present? From where did you get this present? Who gave it to you? Is it inheritance? Okay, show me the will. Is it through employment and business? Okay, show me the bank statements. Show me the transactions. Because otherwise, people can say whatever they want. And then we can accept everyone. I don't go for the full stop and the comma. I'm not the type. I'm a very flexible person. So if someone says, I have 600,000 euro in my bank account and we find 800, 900, nothing's gonna change. They will approve the application, no problem. We don't go to check, shareholding in this and that. If they have 20 if they are shareholders in 20 companies, what's important for us is the 2-3 major companies from where the client made his money. But if I see a difference, so if you declare, because there are forms, and that now is in the capable hands of your agents, that you have €500,000, and then I find through my checks that you have €10 million, what's going to happen? You're going to send a message to us, because we say, no, they did not declare their deeds. Why they didn't declare their deeds? And we ask for clarifications. So it is very important that at the application stage, you tell your agents the truth. This is a government entity. Whatever you say rests with us, rests with me. Nobody has access to that information except me, or if something happens, the police, which you can understand that. As I said, this is a very serious problem. We want to ensure that we send the right message across. Once everything is okay, I will inform your agents through a letter of approval where I say, listen, your clients will be accepted as residents of Malta. We have the pleasure of accepting them. There are these obligations that they need to fulfill. Please proceed accordingly. Once we have everything, we'll issue the card. I will sign a certificate and we'll also issue the PR to everyone, even to a baby. They need a PR card. If the police advises me, no, Roderick, I will inform the agent and I will tell the agent, sorry, we cannot proceed any further with this application. I would know the reason, because the police will tell me. But neither the agent nor the client would know the reason for us for not accepting. I would know. And normally we don't approve for a very, very, very good reason. Money laundering, bribery and corruption. We find, for example, that a client has declared so much, and then when we checked it, we found that he has so much millions, and then we established that he did this through illicit means that I'm not going to accept. So I write to the agent, and I say, dear agent, I'm sorry, the application of your client cannot progress any further. I would be the only one to know, and the police, because the police would have alerted me on that. Not even my staff in Malta would know that this person. I had instances, regrettably, where we refused people, and these people applied to other programs and they were approved. and will all from me. What I can say is this. I truly believe that there's a huge market over here. I truly believe this is a very serious program. We take between 6 to 8 months to review an application and approve it. We don't review an application in 3 months. We cannot do that. It's impossible, given the due diligence that we do. We're working on reducing those months. I am hiring more staff, more people with me. At the moment, we're 26 people. I have 13, 14 people only on due diligence. Imagine 1,100 files. I have a room this big and bigger with all files, and the files are all under control, under CCTV. So nobody takes a file, has to sign for the file, and all the files are under CCTV coverage, so that we make sure that we know who's coming in and out. Thank you very much. If you need to ask more, if you have any questions or inquiries, I'm here. I'm with Y-Access, so feel free to ask. Thank you. This week?
Interest rate.
Interest rate of banks.
Interest rate of 3%, 4%. It depends. It depends. So, for example, if we have to, let's talk about. Sorry if I sat down. You don't mind? Do I sit down? Oh, I stay here. I feel better, more stretched. When you make from India into Malta, you're not be taxed. Absolutely. You will be taxed if you have a business here or working here and you're remitting your money in Malta. But there's also a double taxation agreement between Malta and India. So that means that if you have to pay some tax in Malta and you're paying some tax in already in here, that tax, the difference, this is the difference that you need to pay. You don't pay taxes on capital gains. So imagine you have a house and you decide to sell this house. And you transfer the money into a bank account. You don't pay taxes there because these are capital gains, not in the top.
What is the rate of taxes out there?
3.5, 4%, 5%, 5%.
For different slabs?
Yes. When it comes to taxes, I'm not an expert in taxes. But if you have questions about it, no problem. So I access and we'll get the right answers accordingly. What's best, you list down your questions about taxes and we'll answer them. But in terms of maximum tax, Malta is 35%. 35. So if you're working and you have a specific bracket, it depends on the brackets. If you're making more than 60,000, 70,000 euro a year, the maximum is 35. But if you're making 20,000 a year, it goes down to 10 or 12%. So there are different brackets of taxes according to your income. Then if you set up a company, there is also corporate tax, which is 15%. 15. And if you have a good company that can guide you accordingly, you can get as low as 5% because you get a refund on 10% on the dividends you we don't have, we have good soil in Malta. That's what we have. We don't have commodities, we don't have oil, gas. We produce oil, we produce wines, great wines, which we're already exporting across the globe. No, there are a lot of opportunities, especially, for example, Maltese products, fish farming, tuna, for example. If you're interested in that, I can get you a contact immediately. Fish farming in Malta, okay, because now we're fishing. Fish farming in Malta is a very lucrative business because we Japan being one of the biggest. So we would want to meet people who are interested in buying our tuna and export it maybe to India or some other place. And that's very, very interesting for us. We're pushing a lot. Government is pushing a lot on that.
So what is this fishing farming? If you want to buy this business out there, what does it do?
What do you mean if you want to buy? No, what
If I want to come out there and start a business, that would be interesting.
I cannot tell you how much it would cost, but if you want to come to Malta to start a business or you partner, as long as you're partnering with a local entity in Malta, okay, it can be done. But you can also do this yourself. But I would never suggest that, you know, for various reasons. It's always good that you have a local, because a local would know the political, you know, the context and everything. But if you're interested in that, let's speak, because there are great opportunities. Let's speak.
Hi, Roderick. One question. I
Yes,
just want to
madam.
know what is the impact of the North African immigration in Malta?
Very good question. Very good question. Okay. So, like other countries in Europe, we have to accept a portion of illegal immigrants. This is the law. This is the European law. Given that we're very small, I cannot tell you there are no illegal immigrants because if you come to Malta, you will see that. But they're very much contained in specific areas. So, for example, if you ask me in which areas, I will tell you don't buy a house in Marsa. Don't buy a house in Marsa. I will tell you don't do it because you see some illegal immigrants there. You know, we could give advice on
Because
that.
then there are safety concerns, like if we said India, we're safe, but we
No, we don't have problem. But as in other European countries, we have to take our bit, especially from Libya. But they are very well. No,
I didn't want to be specific.
No. You know, I don't beat around the bush. I like to be very frank with.
We have to politically correct in today's world.
No. I have to be like that. Otherwise, you don't.
You said generations of family can apply.
Yes.
Two brothers applies one.
No, two brothers.
Two separate
Two brothers, two separate applications. But to finish, you will see, if you come to Malta, you will see illegal immigrants. But then if you ask me, I'm coming with my family, Roderick, you know, what places you want to suggest, I will give you a couple of places, you don't go there. Because there will be more immigrants there, but you don't see immigrants in certain parts of the south of Malta, in certain parts of the north of Malta. They are contained normally in two places, which is Marsa and Hellfire.
Like what about safe and there's no like crime per se happening because of the
Let me tell you what. Crime will happen even with Maltese nationals. But crime rate is very low. Very low. But you still see immigrants, yes. In Malta you don't see a lot because we're not as big as Italy, as France, and you know we're fighting.
We didn't
At
see
the moment in
we
Italy,
didn't see them
Malta
actually
didn't see
in
them at all.
not in Malta, no, because the amount is, and most probably you went in places.
St. Julian's and Valletta.
No, forget it.
Yeah.
St. Julius is one of the top. No, you
Yeah.
don't see immigrants there. You see immigrants in low.
So then, but that's because we're going as tourists, but when you go to stay over there,
That's what I'm telling you.
whole dynamics.
That's why I'm telling you, and that's what I would tell YXs. I would tell YXs, look, if you have your clients, best if you promote St. Julian's, some parts in the north, Pembroke and other cities, Valletta, because you don't see them, they're in existence practically. But then there are some places where, yes, they are.
It's important to note that
Sorry.
in Malta has amongst the lowest crime rates in the world. And in Malta we have such a good social system where the government helps anyone in need. It is actually illegal to beg for money in Malta because nobody is required to beg for money because the government will help anyone in need with housing, with social security, with benefits, with free hospital, free education. and so
But
on.
as what you say, you will still see
Yeah.
the immigrants in a corner whereby they try to find someone to pick them
No,
up
it's just
for
like
a job.
it's not an open door policy kind of thing like Germany and all
No.
that.
At the moment, if you Google, we're fighting with Italy because they are,
Yeah.
well, you know, very well, we're fighting. Well, they want us to take more, and we don't want to. No, forget it. Next,
Grandparents would mean grandparents of both sides?
yes, spouse and husband.
Spouse and husband?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. No problem.
Currently, what kind of an Indian community is residing out there?
Not that much. We do have some Indian students. We do some Indian nationals. I can't give you the actual figure, but it's low. It's low. It's low because many Indian nationals don't know about Malta and Gozo. There are many people who still don't know Malta and Gozo. But now I believe that with these promotions and marketing, the community will increase. But we do have Indian. Actually, I have also very good Indian restaurants. So I don't know if the Indian restaurants, but have an Indian chef. I doubt it because the Indian here is totally 330 churches in Malta. And there are also the mosques for Muslim people as well.
No Sikhs are there,
No,
just like us. No, Sardaji, no. No Sikhs. No Sikh.
no,
Not people.
not that I know of.
Not.
Not that I know of.
No.
But I cannot give answers to everything, so I will only answer what I know I can answer well.